Now is the right time to do it because they're exempt from everything. You couldn't do this if you weren't exempt. Clean air, clean water, safe drinking water, right to know, Superfund Act. So if it's a benign process, why would you be exempt from all these things? If it's an up and up business and they're a stand-up company and the industry is being upfront with all the landowners. They're not. They're not looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for their best interest. Who knows what comes out of these wells anyway, other than them? No one knows. These folks get a royalty check, well, God bless them, but they don't know the truth. They're not regulated. Who regulates them? I always thought they were regulated. I didn't know any better. I'm thinking, well, a couple vertical wells, no big deal. They're small tanks, you know, a couple little roads. Oh, well, free gas. No one told me anything about the exemptions. No one told me about the chemicals. No one told me that they were going to put chemicals up on these well sites that'll be there for the life of that well with placards on them, hazardous placards on them. And that doesn't get into the water table? Right. Over time, you know it does. It has to. And then they say nothing pollutes the water wells, nothing pollutes the aquifer. Come on, how many people in every state has been a victim? And they try to keep covering it up and covering it up. I mean, they keep talking about our independence, We're going to be independent. We're not going to be independent. We're selling it. We want to sell it. That's what we want to be the biggest exporter. That's what Range Resources said last year on Channel 2 News. We could be the largest exporter. Well, wait a minute. What happened to us being independent? You go to do a file review. It's amazing how they don't put anything in the files that what actually happened. And these are our tax dollars hard at work, protecting our environment and the people. But as long as they're exempt from everything, who cares? And you think this doesn't get into our rivers? It goes into the streams, into our aquifers, and floats right into our rivers. Everybody's drinking it. No matter if you live in a country and you have city water, if you live in a city and you're drinking city water. We're all affected by this, every last one of us. But they're putting a pipeline in through here. They brought in 2 pipelines from the neighbors, because the neighbors, they got a horizontal up there, and I think they did a ton, how many wells off of that pad. And they brought the lines through my property so they could connect into the, up to the main, main transmission line. But when they came through here, they dug this out, and they took more trees out. They knocked a lot of trees out up on top. No one counted them, nothing. They just do what they want. They didn't sit down with me and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. They're coming through. And they come through. Any problem I had, I'm complaining, and nothing was getting done. They just, it's like they give you this song and dance. Well, yeah, there's a problem, but we don't know. There's really nothing we could do. Or just like when I said about my pond, well, yeah, there's something in there, but we don't know how it got in there. What do you mean you don't know how it got in there? Come on. This is so full of common sense. It's incredible. Don't insult my intelligence. I mean, you people have insulted me enough. The biggest mistake that I ever made was trusting anybody. Now I don't trust anybody. And people will tell you that around here. A lot of these folks that have been burnt don't trust anybody. And they weren't that way before. Now it's like, you're skeptical about everything, and you think someone's always going to stab you in the back now. It's terrible. It's a terrible way to think. It's a terrible way to have to live. But that's how you become. You become so calloused from it all. Cynical. You do. Because you trusted. And that's the worst thing you could do. You can't trust. Not with these guys. When it comes to energy, you don't trust. They did all this under the radar. No one knew. They took us completely by surprise. And that was their game plan, because they operate like the military. And they use military tactics because they divide and conquer, and they do divide the communities. You got to realize this is their game, and they have their think tanks. That's why anytime there's a problem here, they put a spin on it. Every time there's a problem. Cross Creek Lake got polluted. Well, first it was a collar leaked. pipe leaked, collar leaked. Then it was a vandal. It was vandalism. Somebody loosened 3 bolts on a collar. We did a file review at the DEP's office the same time we did mine on Cross Creek Park. There's absolutely nothing on there or in that file as far as a police report or anything stating vandalism. It's sickening already. It's got to stop. It has got to stop. And then the spin that the DEP and the industry puts on acid mine drainage also. We've had acid mine drainage here forever. We never had these problems until they started drilling for the Marcellus Shale and are dumping all this polluted water. Again, Cross Creek Lake. You go back to Cross Creek Lake, how that got polluted. The stream that one of the streams, feeder streams that fed the lake, it killed all aquatic life in there. But they tell you they only use 3 chemicals that you could find on your spice rack. Okay, those are awfully powerful chemicals, or awfully powerful spices if it kills all aquatic life. And they know some people are going to believe it. They know that. If you could sit all these people in a room and really try to educate them and let them all view Split Estate and Dr. Theo Coburn and a lot of this other information that's out there and a lot of these other victims that are out there, then people would have a different attitude. Then I think their eyes would open and they'd be a little scared. But I think now a lot of people around here are getting more scared because they're starting to find out that these water wells are contaminated because it's starting to leak out. But of course, the DEP and Range Resources and all the other companies around here, well, you got to prove it, you know. That's hearsay. You got to prove it, you know how the game's played.